guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought in today's video I would show you my Anthurium collection. I'm really into Anthurium at the moment. I mean, I've always loved Anthurium, but I've always been slightly intimidated by them and been a bit worried that I haven't been able to provide them with the right conditions. But I have had a few in my collection for a while, and I've slowly, more recently, been adding some more exotic, slightly harder to care for Anthurium into my collection, and they do live in my grow tent, but I do have some inside, so I will show you my complete Anthurium collection. So you'll see the ones that I have in my house, which is just ambient household humidity, no extra special treatment, and then I've got a few in my grow tent as well. Most of the ones in the grow tent are more recent additions, so I want to provide them with a bit more warmth, a bit more humidity, and just slightly better conditions to them. So yeah, let's just jump straight in. So I thought I would start off with my OG Anthurium, and this is sort of what started my love for Anthurium. Now, I bought this plant quite a few years ago as a teeny tiny little seedling. It was only like $10, which at the time in New Zealand was such an amazing price, as these plants weren't super widespread, and I have managed to grow it it is currently pouring water out onto the floor. One moment. I actually recently watered this guy, that's why there's water pouring all out on the floor, but I've added a towel down there, so we are good. So yeah, I got this plant a few years ago as a teeny tiny seedling, and this really is what started my love for Anthurium. It grew so well in just ambient household humidity and conditions, and yeah, it is just looking so good. This was one of the most recent leaves it put out, and it does actually currently have a new leaf coming in, which, look at the size of it, it is getting pretty big. And this is a Anthurium crystallinum crossed with an Anthurium magnificum, and yeah, I just really love it. It has such beautiful long petioles, really big leaves. I really love the contrasting veining of it and the sort of the dark deep green color it goes off to when it hardens off. So this is obviously a new leaf, so it is still super soft. And the other day I actually recently moved a plant that was sort of tucked in behind it, and I like ripped this leaf. Not actually ripped it, but like the plant I was moving ripped past it. So there are a few bits of imperfection on it, which is a bit of a shame, but these things happen when you have a lot of plants. So this leaf is still growing and it's still developing, so yeah, I can't wait to see what size it eventually fills out. But yeah, I really love this Anthurium. It's a super low maintenance plant, and as I said before, it is just in ambient room household humidity. It does have a grow light, but it is actually facing this window here, and it's probably like maybe 3 meters away from the window, so I would consider it quite low light, and it seems to be thriving. So yeah, this is an Anthurium crystallinum cross magnificum. This here is an Anthurium vitarifolium, and it is probably one of my favorite Anthurium. I really love the long strappy Anthurium. This is its newest leaf, and it is still growing and still developing. I don't know if I'll be able to get it all in frame, but it is long. It is a long boy, and yeah, I absolutely love this plant. So it's actually 2 plants potted up into the same pot to create like a fuller looking plant. But yeah, I really love a strappy Anthurium. Again, super low maintenance, really easy to care for, no special treatment, no extra humidity or anything like that. It just lives up here on this plant shelf, and it is thriving. I recently repotted it into my Hoya and Aroid mix that I sell on my website, which I will link below if you're in New Zealand. I have pretty much all my Anthurium potted in that mix. It's a really chunky aerated mix, but it does retain a bit of moisture, because Anthurium, believe it or not, do like moisture. But yeah, I really love this. I love the deep green leaves, I love the veining, I love the sort of, it's got a bit of a velvety sheen to it, but yeah, it is really pretty, and I can't wait to keep watching this grow, and I can't wait for it to get super long boy leaves. So while we're on the topic of long boy leaves, this is my Anthurium Bakery. I will obviously have all the names on the screen so you can look them up if you want to. Now this plant did get something wrong with it. I'm not too sure what it got wrong with it, but it had like all these yellowy sort of spots on the leaves, so I did cut all the original leaves off, and these are its newer leaves, and I can't see any signs of the yellow spotting. I don't know if it was fungal or what, but yeah. Anyway, it is growing back in and it is looking really, really cool. These leaves are really thick and leathery, and there's no actual velvety sheen to these. These are more like a matte finish, and I actually have this one growing in Lechuza pond. So it is in a semi-hydro setup, and it is really loving that setup. There is a new leaf coming in, which is this one here is the most recent leaf it's put out, and again it just lives up on top of this plant shelf here. No special treatment. It is loving life. I actually, when I bought this plant, I will insert a picture of it here. It actually had a pollinated inflorescence on it, and I actually picked all the berries, germinated them, and now I have a whole tray full of seedlings in my grow tent, which I will show you. I have sold quite a few as well, so yeah, I'm really, really proud of this little one, and that was sort of my first dabble into growing Anthurium from seed, and it was really, really fun. I learned a lot, so yeah, I will show you those in a minute, but that is my Anthurium bakery eye. Okay, we are now in my bedroom, and I thought I would show you this Anthurium over here. So I'm not entirely sure what this Anthurium is. It was just sold as an Anthurium crystallinum, and I actually got it off Facebook Marketplace, and it's actually a beast. It's got 3 plants in one pot, and I actually separated 2 other plants out of it and sold them on my shop, but it has 2 new leaves coming in. I really love the Anthurium new leaf color, and it can vary from like this sort of nice browny color to red, pink, sort of like a goldy color. They're really, really pretty, but you can sort of gauge the size of it there. It's pretty big, and I love it, and it's got lots of those delicious noodle roots growing out of the bottom. And again, this is potted in my Wildvine Hoya and Aroid mix, and I don't know if you can see the noodly roots, but yeah, it is really, really loving that mix. And again, no special treatment in this room. It gets actually really quite low light. This room gets no direct sun whatsoever. No special treatment, no humidity or anything, and yeah, it is growing beautifully. So this is my grow tent, and this is where I have a lot of my Anthurium just hanging up on that wall there, so I will go through and show you which varieties I have in here. Okay, so this little dude is one of my most recent Anthurium purchases. This is a Anthurium clarinervium crossed with something else. I will put the name on the screen. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it is just a little cutie little plant, and it's doing really well so far. It didn't sort of struggle with any shipping stress or anything like that. Again, I repotted it into my Hoya and Aroid mix, and I have popped some sphagnum moss on top, and this just helps promote the aerial roots from the stem to grow into the pot and sort of create a more healthier, more robust plant. But it also provides Anthurium with a bit of like ambient humidity around them, and I find that especially when they're little, this really, really helps them. And it was only $10, so that was such a steal. I do have a pure Anthurium clarinervium in my greenhouse, but it is literally just a little stump. It had thrips and it has never recovered, so it's just chilling in there, and I kind of just forget about it and let it do its thing. But I'm glad to have this little hybrid. Generally, hybrids are a little bit tougher than the pure form because they get characteristics from both parents, which generally can make them a little bit tougher. But yeah, that is one of the most recent ones. And another one which I got at the same time as that one. This may look like a Anthurium vitarifolium, but this is actually a Anthurium vitarifolium crossed with Anthurium warocquianum, or the Queen Anthurium, and this is a hybrid made here in New Zealand, so I'm really, really excited and so happy to have this one in my collection. I can't wait to watch it grow out. You won't be able to see it on camera, but the leaves do have, if it'll focus, the leaves do kind of have that queen veining in them. but it is very, very subtle, and you can sort of only see it when you look at it up close. But it is already pushing out a new leaf since I repotted it. Again, it's in the same mix, and it has sphagnum moss around it as well. And yeah, as I said, I'm really, really excited to grow this one out and see how it grows and what it grows into, whether it sort of has the Vitarifolium's length in the leaves or whether they stay quite short like the Queen. Who knows? I'm excited to see, and I'm excited to see the other people who have them as well and see how everyone sort of grows and develops. This Anthurium here is also a New Zealand made hybrid, and this is called Anthurium Nightshade, and I will put the parentage down here because I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Again, this is fairly recent. I got this a few months ago, and it is putting out a gorgeous new leaf. Just love the colour, I love the veining in it, and yeah, it's actually grown quite a bit. I think this was the newest leaf it put out, and then this is the second leaf. So yeah, it only had these 3 bottom leaves when I purchased it. Again, same mix, same sphagnum moss on top, and it is doing really, really well. I'm very excited to see how these hybrids grow out. Because they're a hybrid between the 2 parents, you don't actually know what sort of characteristics each plant is going to have. So yeah, it can vary quite a lot between the seedlings. So yeah, I'm really excited to watch this one grow out as well. This Anthurium here is an Anthurium Velvet Eclipse. Again, another New Zealand hybrid made by the same people as the last Anthurium I just showed you. And again, I will put the parentage down here because I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch these ones grow. They've got quite a dark foliage, and in some lights, I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but in some lights it's actually got quite a bluish sheen to it, which is really, really cool. And I actually quite enjoy that this one has quite minimal or subtle veining. Again, I'm excited to watch this one grow. This is its newest leaf it has put out here. I don't really have too much to say on it because they are fairly new plants to my collection, but they're already growing super well, and yeah, I'm excited to watch all these develop and mature and hopefully size up really nicely. This one here is actually an Anthurium Forgetii hybrid. I'm not too sure what the parentage is, so I will ask who I bought it from and I will put the parentage down here. But you can see it's got that real Forgetii closed sinus, although this leaf here, it decided to have a little bit of lobage going on, but now with this newest leaf we are back to a fairly closed sinus, and it did get a little bit of damage as it was unfurling, as you can see there, but it is still super beautiful. And I actually have this plant on a little pole, because if you don't know, a lot of Anthurium are actually climbers. Even though they climb quite slowly, they do climb, so I decided to put one of them on a pole and sort of test it out and see how it goes. It does have a couple of inflorescence coming in. I don't know how well you can see, but one here, and there's another one coming up the top, so it'll be interesting to see if I can pollinate them and see how they sort of grow and develop and what I can sort of cross with them. I really enjoy this one. I bought this off my plant friend on Instagram and I love it. It is so pretty. This here, she needs no introduction. She is the Queen Anthurium, or Anthurium warocqueanum. This is its newest leaf it has put out for me, and this was one of the Anthuriums that was super intimidating. I felt like I couldn't provide it with the adequate conditions to make it grow and thrive, but she is thriving. She was just a small little gal with a few small little leaves that I bought off my friend Tony, and now it is growing super well, and she is very happy in the tent, which is really cool. She's got some beautiful aerial roots coming out of the stem there. I actually need to put some sphagnum moss around this one. I've had this one for a little while now, and yeah, at the time I didn't put any moss on, but I will do that. And I don't know if you can see on that newest leaf, but there is a little strip of sport variegation, just a little marking, which I think makes it look pretty cool. The two lower leaves are getting a little bit yellow, but I think that's because they are getting slightly shaded out from the light, and they are the oldest leaves, so I'm not too worried if they decide to shrivel up and die, because the rest of the plant looks really beautiful. And again, I can't wait to watch this one grow and mature and see how big she can get in the tent. So this little cutie here is another super recent addition to my collection. This is Anthurium Silver Magnificum crossed with Luxurians. I am so excited to see how this one grows. I really love the luxurian texture that they have, and that is one plant that is on my wish list to get. I did actually see some for sale recently on one of my plant friends' Instagram page, but I missed out on them. So yeah, I'm still got my eye on an Anthurium luxurians because I really love the texture, but for now this little cutie is filling that sort of texture vibe that I really like, and it is putting out a new leaf as well. So again, I'm very excited to watch this one grow. I haven't repotted it yet, and I haven't put any sphagnum moss around it because it is again one of the newer ones, but I will do that hopefully before winter comes. But yeah, excited to watch this one grow too. This one here is an Anthurium silver blush, I'm not too sure. But this one has really strong silver markings, although for me the newer leaves don't have as much silver as they did, but I still really like this one. It is quite a lot different to all the other ones I have in my collection. It has put out 1, 2, 3, 4 new leaves, plus this little cutie in the middle, and it's such a weird Anthurium because it grows really like clumped and dense. It has put out a little pup, you can see down in there, and yeah, I'm excited to watch this one grow. Again, I haven't actually repotted this one from when I purchased it, but it seems really happy in this mix. It is an arrowed mix, but it's a super fine arrowed mix. But I will probably repot this one next spring. But yeah, I just really liked the super silver markings. This beautiful Anthurium here is probably one of my favorites in my collection at the moment. This is Anthurium Nocturne, and it is also another New Zealand hybrid. I will put the parents' names here. But yeah, it is so stunning. I absolutely love the veining. I love the leaf shape. I love the colour. It's just so cool. It's such a cool looking Anthurium. It is pushing out yet another new leaf there. This is the most recent one. It is actually hardened off, and it's keeping the darker colour, which is really cool. So this leaf was one that it put out in my care as well, and it's sort of like a lighter green, and then this one is sort of got a darker sort of browny sheen to it, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch this one grow, and I hope it really puts out its parentage in its leaves because it is beautiful. So down in here, these are all the little bakery eye seedlings that I grew from that plant inside that you saw. And then these are all sort of Anthurium crystallinum hybrid seedlings, which I have been growing out. I'm not sure of the parentage of these ones. These are sort of just a random mix, but they are all beautiful, and I love them, and I'm growing them out for my website. These ones I actually grew from seeds, and I pollinated them from my very first Anthurium that you saw in this video, the very first one. This is all her babies, and I do have a video on me potting these up, so I will leave a link in the description box. The last Anthurium I have is this little one. I'm not actually sure what it is. It was a little stump that I propagated, and it has pushed out a bunch of tiny little plants. I'm just growing this out to see what it looks like, but it's super cute. I really like it like this. Whew, I'm running out of breath. Okay, that concludes my Anthurium collection. Let me know in the comment box below what your favorite Anthurium in my collection is. I really love them all for different reasons, and I'm super excited to watch them all grow and mature and develop, and I really hope that they survive the winter because we are in autumn and winter is coming soon, and I haven't had a lot of those ones in the tent through a winter yet, so fingers crossed they do okay because the tent is not heated. It does have a fan for circulation, but it doesn't have any like humidifiers and no heating, so I really hope it does well, but we will see. I will keep you updated. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up so I know that you're enjoying the content that I put out, and don't forget to subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps my channel, and I really appreciate, and I love having you here. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Facebook Market page. Because they get